Welcome to Life, Lessons, and Laughter with your host, Glenn Ambrose.
Hello, welcome to today's podcast. This is Glenn Ambrose, and welcome to, what is this called? Life, Lessons, and Laughter.
That's good.
Yeah,
I'm glad you could remember the name of your own show.
I know, and we're kicking
It's a
it
good
right
sign.
off with the laughter aspect. So here we go. Today we're going to start talking about not judging things as good or bad.
How should I judge that you didn't introduce me? I shouldn't judge it.
Yeah, don't
It
judge
just
it.
is.
It just is. Don't
It's not
judge
good
it as
or
good or
bad.
bad. By the way, everyone, this is Ben.
I'm back.
He's back. You were back last podcast.
No, I wasn't.
It was the one before
Oh,
you
was
missed.
it?
Yeah. So
I don't know.
There.
I'm not a fan of the show.
okay. This is a vote of confidence. So hey everybody, just to stroke Ben's ego, he's back and we're happy to have him.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I missed you guys, you podcast family.
Yeah.
All right. So what are you teaching me today?
Today we're talking about not judging things as good or bad. They just are.
I think I'm gonna have a hard time with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. That'll give us stuff to talk about.
Yeah, probably.
So yeah, basically, what's that saying? There's something. Nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so.
Ooh. Who said that?
I don't know. We should Google it.
All right.
But anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of truth to that. Nothing really is good or bad. It's just happening. If we judge it as good or bad, then that's where the struggle comes in. Perception is our reality. So a lot of times people have different perspectives on things. So one person can deem something as very bad, and some person can just be fine with it. And because of that, the person that deems it as bad is struggling, and it can impact their life in a very negative way. But the reality of it is, everything just is. It's just, we might not like it. It doesn't mean we have to like everything. Everything just is. It's happening. And for us to resist it or judge it, it doesn't change it. It doesn't, it doesn't do anything to the situation. It still is. So it's one of the most ridiculous things that we can do is fight against what is. We can be stuck in traffic and sitting there going, "Oh my God, I'm going to be late. This isn't right. There shouldn't be this much traffic," and all the things that we play in our head. It doesn't do anything but cause our own emotional suffering. The fact is, you're stuck in traffic. It just is. It doesn't mean it's bad. It might mean that it doesn't enhance your plans in life the way you wanted your day to go, but it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It just is. What makes it bad is us struggling against it.
Now, you just said that you don't have to like it, but you have to understand that it just is. Isn't not liking it judging it a little?
Well, it's mainly about acceptance. You have to accept it and not struggle against the fact. If there's some action that you can take to get yourself out of it, like if you're sitting in a line of traffic and let's say you turn on a radio and there's some accident up ahead, and on the radio you hear them say, "You can use the breakdown lane to get off on the next exit," and you don't do that, well, then that's foolish. You know, that would be kind of I'm trying to use that as somewhat of an example of having action to take to get yourself out of the situation and not taking it.
Yeah.
You know, so that would be foolish. But if you're sitting there saying, I don't like being stuck in traffic. I don't like being stuck in traffic. I don't like, what's that accomplishing? It's not accomplishing anything. It's not getting you out. It's not creating that pathway. You can say, okay, I'm stuck in traffic. I accept that I am. Now all of a sudden you hear on the radio, you can use the breakdown lane to get out. Okay, you use the breakdown lane to get out. So just because you accepted where you are doesn't mean that you don't take action to get out of it if action is possible.
Okay.
You dig?
Yeah. What about people? When I think of the word judgment, a lot of times I think less about judging situations and more about just like straight up judging people.
That's a good point. Yeah, a lot of the judgment does come in that form, and it's a good example. If we are the I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I love it. This this little line, it says basically it was talking about the conflict in the Middle East, and it said it was the inability to make room for a comparing narrative. So that's the problem in the Middle East, that these people over generations and generations have been unable to make room for a comparing narrative. So basically it's allowing people to think differently than you think, you know, and that's basically what our judgment is. If we're looking at somebody and, you know, we're judging what they do, oh, they shouldn't be doing that. Well, who are we to say they shouldn't be doing that? You know, it's allow them to have their comparing narrative. They have a right to live their life the way they live their life, you know, as long as they're not hurting anybody. Again, that's when it comes to action. And this is where things get blurred and where people will argue their right to stay unhappy. They will argue they're right because they'll throw up a situation. They'll say, okay, well, you know, what if I'm walking down a street and there's a guy punching a little child in the head over and over? You know, well, that's not right.
I don't know why I just laughed at that scenario.
Well, probably because it's so absurd, you know. But yeah, okay, so stop it. You know, like when there's action to take that's appropriate, we can still take the action that's appropriate. That doesn't mean that we just sit back and go, oh, okay, he's stabbing me in the leg with a knife. Well, it is.
I accept it.
Yeah, I accept. You know, that's not what we're talking about. And if you go to that big of an extreme, nothing will make sense in this world. There is always some extreme situation where we can say, well, I can't accept that. You know, I mean, you'll say you can't accept it. You can actually accept anything. Taking action to change something is different than accepting it. You can accept that something's happened. And actually, you take better action once you've accepted the situation. Things become a lot clearer once you've accepted the situation. So once you accept what is happening, you're calm. You're not caught up in the emotional turmoil of the situation. If there's action to take, it's much clearer to take. And it's one of the, I guess, scientific reasons for that is because, you know, we are made with this fight or flight response. What happens when we get emotional, when we get upset, our brain literally stops having the ability to think clearly. You know, and you can see it in people's actions. When they're upset, they don't act clearly, you know, obviously. But the reason for that is because their brain literally slows down, and we're not capable scientifically of thinking as clearly because our body is trying to push us into fight or flight. That's what, you know, we got to remember our bodies were kind of that created and developed with these defense mechanisms a long time ago, when we had different dangers. So if you come around a corner and you see some tiger coming at you, that's ready to rip you apart. You don't have time to sit around and, geez, are his teeth long enough to penetrate my jugular? Is this really going to hurt?
Yes.
Boy, I like the shade of his fur.
That's a bad idea.
No, you're not going to sit there and think about it. What you need to do is you need to act. You need to either fight or flight. That has to happen. So your ability to think gets shut off and pushes you right into the fight or flight.
So what what makes us? I feel like there's a stigma. There's a condition. I don't know what the right word is. An epidemic, maybe, of everyone. It's a culture of judging. That's what I want to say. Especially America right now, because that's all I really know. I mean, I don't live anywhere else. So America has such a culture of judging. We judge everyone. We judge celebrities. We judge races of people. We judge sexuality preferences, political affiliation. Like, we have such a strong divide on so many issues because people, I feel like, are blindly judging other people by a certain characteristic or by a... Do you agree with that? Am I wrong? Is that not judging?
You're right. I mean, yeah, there's tons of judgment, but it's kind of the way you phrased it. I took it, and you may not have been inferring this, but I took it as it sounded kind of like this is a new thing. Or, or the United States is like, we do it, but other countries don't. It's like, I mean, this is the human condition.
Well, I feel like it's almost celebrated now here.
Yeah, I mean, and you're probably right to some degree, but we're in a different society, so it's manifesting in different ways. But people tend to romance the past so much, and like everything was better and simpler, and we weren't so horrible to each other. Baloney. I mean, if you look in history, look at the causes of, I'm not even going to say all wars because that might be too controversial, but most wars were why did we have them? Because we refused to make room for a comparing narrative. That's why. Most of them were based in religion. Well, why are we fighting over religion? If God says thou shalt not kill, and basically all the religions have a god or many gods that say that we're not supposed to be killing each other and we're supposed to be kind and loving to each other. All the religions say that, but yet we're killing each other because you have to love God the way I love God, not the way somebody else loves God. So all these wars have been going on for thousands of years over this same thing. It's the human condition. And, I mean, I believe we're shifting out of that. And this is why I'm having shows that discuss this type of thing, because people are ready to hear it now. Like, I can have this conversation now and people are going, yeah, all right. And some people will agree with it and try to live their lives by it. Some people won't. But at least it can be open up for discussion. I think 50 years ago or 100 years ago, if I were to be running around telling people stuff like this, they'd be like, get out of here. There's no way. And who knows, maybe I would have been burned at the stake as a witch, because they couldn't make room for my comparing narrative, So it's, that's a big aspect of it. It's the human condition. It's how we're, we wonder why there are so many problems in society. This is why. This is one of the founding reasons, because we walk around judging other people and we don't allow people to be themselves, and we fight. You have to do everything my way. My way is the right way. And if I believe that, then what we do is, and you can see this, it's clearer with the bigger issues like war. we can demonize the other person. We can stand so firmly in our belief that the other side is wrong that we actually take the humanity of them away.
Yeah.
You know, they are no longer human.
Right.
We can kill them, and well, unfortunately, innocent people get killed in wars too. Not that that's anybody's intent, but I'm sure that we can justify killing lots of people who don't believe the way we believe because we've stood so firmly in the fact that they don't believe what we believe and our way is right. And I think that we're in the middle of the change. And whenever I kind of go this far in that direction on this topic, I believe that I'm a realist. I don't think that I'm living some pie in the sky existence, that I'm not aware of how things function out there. So, I understand that there are dangers right now to the United States and other countries. So I'm not saying that we should all just sing Kumbaya and disband the army. That's not what I'm saying. That would be unrealistic to do in this society at this time. What I'm talking about is just starting to implement these beliefs in our own lives. And, I'm using the larger picture as an example of how whacked it is. I mean, the reality of it is if I walked down the street and killed somebody that didn't believe what I believed, I would be in jail. But yeah, countries are doing it to each other all the time, and not just ours. Countries are doing it just constantly. And we go, oh, well, that's just how it is. And so, well, no, it's it's just a larger example of somebody killing somebody because they don't believe what they believe, So, like I said, I mean, I don't think disbanding the military is the solution. It's just kind of to start putting things into perspective and seeing how if we don't start taking care of our own headspace and start, Gandhi, be the change you wish to see in the world. We can start with ourselves. We can start with our community. We can start with our friends. We can start looking at things in a more healthy way. And then who knows how that's going to impact the world as we move forward.
All right, going back to the individual, I feel like even in a situation like that where you're trying to, I know people, and I might be guilty of this myself, that look at other people that, for example, a lot of the Christian beliefs, people that are Christian that tout the Jesus saying don't judge other people, like judge not lest ye be judged thing. Yeah. And then so like that for whatever reason, and I saw someone's Facebook status about this the other day that there's a meme going around that said like what Jesus told everybody, and then they had that line highlighted, and then they said what people think, and then they blacked out the rest of the pages, and they were like, see, he said that, but you really should judge people for everything. And I'm like, no, you guys are like, I've constantly, since I was a little kid going to church, gotten upset at people that like tell you not to judge other people and then are exclusive and down talking and judge people constantly. And then I realized, I don't know, a few years ago that I'm then judging those people
right
for judging others.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, one of the things that serves me well is somehow, I don't know where this came from. I don't know if it was innate, but I have this really big problem with being a hypocrite.
Yes.
I don't like being a hypocrite.
Me either.
It just rubs me the wrong way. So I use that to catch myself And by no means am I perfect at it, but I use that to try to catch myself from judging, So because I have to make room for other people's judgments, even about me. If somebody wants to say something negative about me, I have to be able to sit back and go, okay, that's their opinion. I don't happen to agree with it. They have a right to it. I have to be able to do that if I expect people to not judge me. If I want to live in my world, in my reality, walking through without people judging me, it's not going to stop 100%, but I've stopped people judging me to a large scale to what they used to, just by the changes I've made in myself. The less I judge other people and the less I judge myself, the less people judge me. And my reality, the people around me that I associate with, are less judgmental because I'm less judgmental. And it's just, sometimes people they'll judge a lot of other people right in front of me, but then when it comes to me, they won't. And I won't. At first, I didn't think it was possible. I didn't quite understand why, but it's a spiritual law. Basically, what you put out, you get back. We do have control over our own existence, and that's one way I've seen it in my life. The people, I don't have people attacking me like I used to, because I'm not attacking others. I don't have people judging me so much because I'm not judging others so much. Am I perfect at it? No. Am I still getting judged somewhat? Yeah. I'm sure I am.
I'm judging you right now.
Yeah, see? There's a case in point.
I told you this one would be difficult for me. By the way, the fact check from earlier in the episode, can you say the quote again?
No, that was off the top of my head. What was
Things aren't good or bad.
Thinking makes it so.
Yes, Hamlet. It was Shakespeare.
Ooh, see?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm really cultured.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's all right.
When I'm quoting Hamlet, that's a pat on the back from this blue collar tomboy.
Nice. So it's not a new. I mean, it's not a new philosophy.
No, and none of this is.
No.
That's really that's one of the coolest parts of it. Really, is that as I learn this stuff, the philosophies that we're talking about are not new. I mean, they go back to Buddha. They go back before Buddha, but Buddha, Jesus. One of the coolest things that I've heard of was, just to touch on the Jesus thing a little bit, was that they have, I believe it's called the Red Letter Bible. I haven't read one. I want to. And it's everything that Jesus said is in red letters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that...
every Bible I've ever had is a red letter Bible.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've never even seen one.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I haven't been practicing Catholic for quite a while.
I am not Catholic. Let's phone a Catholic and ask if they have red letter Bibles.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so they I mean, I haven't seen one, but I've heard about them, and I've heard that they're just phenomenal because it kind of takes a lot of the interpretation out of the Bible and puts in like you were saying earlier, Jesus said this. Okay, let's do that. Not if, not unless, not, set up all the exclusions, around it.
I didn't understand why when I was a little kid, but during Sunday school, I would just grab a Bible and start reading the red letters because they look different and cool.
Wow.
I did.
It probably served you very well.
I don't know that I remember most of it, but I would
wow.
Just because I also liked, they had, by the way, I did phone a Catholic friend, and they do not have red letter Bibles.
Oh.
Wow. But,
you're good.
Yeah.
This is an awesome producer. I got a couple awesome producers here.
Thank you. I fact-checked your quote and I phoned a friend all in the time span while you were talking.
I'm impressed.
So, yeah, that's a great idea. I can get you one if you want.
Yes, please.
All right.
Okay. Well, that just saves me from pressing order on Amazon.
It'll be a gift.
A gift.
It'll be a gift. I'll get you one
Wow.
as a 2-year present, and I will judge you
And you-
in it. I will write all my judgments about you on the inside cover as an inscription.
Ooh, that sounds scary. You can keep those to yourself if you'd like.
Well, I'm going to get rid of them because I've learned today that judging people is bad.
Oh,
and
yeah.
judging situations, which let's get back to.
Yeah.
Let's end with judging situations.
Judging situations. Don't do that.
Well, thank you guys that very much. This has been episode something of Life Lessons and Laughter. I don't have the number in front of me.
Yeah, well,
22, 12, 7,
It's 10.
11. 11. My Catholic
yeah,
phone a
there's-
friend
we
has
got
told
one
me
more
that it
coming.
was 11.
Yes. Yeah, and he's right, of course. The judging situations. I think the important part is just to realize that it doesn't do anything. It doesn't change the situation. All it does is cause emotional suffering. You know, it's just the judging the situation. If you just accept what it is and then do what you need to do to get out, you're going to reduce a lot of the emotional turmoil that you go through. You know, it's not necessary. If you're stuck in traffic, you're going to be stuck in traffic. Now, let's say you're stuck in traffic for half an hour and there's no way to get out of it. Okay, that's going to happen. So for the next 30 minutes, how do you want to spend that 30 minutes? In a place of acceptance and peace, or in a place of anger and turmoil? That's the only difference.
What about the fact that some people would say, and I know that you said, like, people fight to stay in their misery. What about the people that say that they like being upset about that? That they're like,
Well-
30-minute, of course, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to yell. I'm going to flip out. I'm in traffic. This is a bad situation. Of course I'm going to
Right.
judge the situation. What about those people?
Well, and they have the right. Like, if you are really bound and determined that you want to be unhappy, nobody can stop you. You know, it's the same thing with being happy. If you're bound and determined you're going to be happy, at the end of the day, nobody can stop you. I mean, look at Nelson Mandela being in jail all those years, and he found a way to be at peace and be happy. Nobody can stop you from being whatever you want to be. If you want to be happy or you want to be miserable, you have that right. You know, so the people who really fight with me about that stuff, like, at some point I just got to step back and go, okay, well, if you want to be miserable, you have every right to. I can't take that away from you. Go be miserable. But it's just, be clear that it's your choice. You don't have to be miserable. And being miserable is not gaining you anything. It's not getting you out of a situation quicker. It's not allowing you to come up. You know, the other thing, and I kind of touched on this, is when you're in acceptance, you can generally think clearer because you're not caught up with all that emotion. And if there's an abstract way out of a situation, you're more apt to find it then because you're thinking clearer.
All right, so I completely agree with all of that stuff, and there's been a lot of good stuff in this episode. But not judging is very big. It's a very big subject.
True.
And so far today you've covered not judging people, dealing with judging people and trying not to judge people, and trying not to judge situations. And we mainly focused on small situations. Things that you can't control that are small, the everyday things. So you are going to do a part 2
I am.
of not judging. What are we going to talk about next time?
We're going to expand on this a little bit more, and we're going to go into the aspect that suffering is when you don't accept where you are. Basically, all suffering is resistance to whatever is going on, and it's unnecessary. You know, we inflict our own suffering.
All right, and that's what we're going to talk about next time.
Yes, we are.
And if anybody has any questions, where can they send it?
They can send it to me.
Oh, that was great. That was you're nailing the intro and the outro of this episode.
Yeah. Well, I was really going for a dramatic pause.
Sure.
Some people would call that a blank mind. No, let's get back on topic. Send them to lifeenhancementservices.com.
I just looked in your eyes. You still had no
idea. I still went blank right when I went to speak. I had it right until I went, and let's go to, and then I lost it.
We'll write them down for you next time. I didn't know how hard it would be to put your own email address.
Oh, yeah, my email address. That's a good Oh, my God, that's too funny. All right, yeah, send it to my email address, gambrose.les@gmail.com. Or you can go to my website, life-enhancement-services.com. Or my Facebook page, personal or business, Life Enhancement Services Business. I think that's it.
All right, cool.
All right, cool beans.
Cool.
All right, we will see you for part 2, mix soon. And there will be some more laughter and some more lessons.
This podcast is presented by New Shore Productions. Executive producers Glenn Ambrose, Benjamin Barber, and David DeAngelis.